Hello, we're live. We're chatting, we're bullshitting, we're making breakfast. Breakfast. Figure out what we'll talk about in a little bit. But until then, we'll make some breakfast. We'll have a good time. Why are we doing this? Because we're going on tour soon. So, what is this? We're going on tour soon, so we're just making sure that the live community here is having a good time. And also want to get more proficient with live streaming, doing it a lot more. So we're gonna do this making breakfast, and we're gonna chat about whatever the hell you guys want to chat about. There's 2 people here so far. Who's here? What's up? Don't just be watching me make breakfast and not talking to me. What's going on? Casual, what's going on? We're just gonna bullshit a little bit today. We're just gonna chat, have some conversations, okay? Kind of getting ready for tour a bit. Until then, making breakfast. It's fucking hot outside. I would not know. I've been indoors all day, so luckily I've been mixing for a living for the last 2 years. So I haven't gone outside very much. As you can see, that's the extent of my tan line. Amaya, what's going on? We're making some breakfast right now, which is literally just going to be some proteinish cereal and some cinnamon. I fucking love cinnamon. Probably more than the average human should. Out walking around in Zolfo Falls for work. Ooh, that sounds rough. What's going on, Fiza? It's noon. Dude, okay, so I don't eat anything until noon. So I've been doing the whole, I guess they call it intermittent fasting. I just call it not eating until noon. I usually stop eating around like 8 or 9 o'clock. Except for weekends. I'm terrible on weekends. And then start eating around 12. I'm not that religious about it. What's your favorite food? I really like Indian food, but like, I don't know. If it's not Indian food, like I'm cool with like anything, but chocolate, if chocolate's like a food group, that's definitely the favorite. Is chocolate a food group? Does that count? But yeah, I'm not like religious about the whole intermittent fasting thing. I also don't really subscribe to calling things by names like that. It's just, I just do shit, you know? You from America? Yes, I am from America. I'm from Florida. Favorite breakfast food? Honestly, I don't do a lot of breakfast. That's why it's like 12 o'clock and I'm now eating. But I do really love like chocolate chip pancakes, mostly because they have chocolate. But catch us at Waffle House at like 1 a.m. every morning on tour. Some of the tour won't be in this time zone, so it'll probably be like 12 or 11 or something. But we will definitely be at Waffle House most nights. I think Lakers will be champion in this season. I don't do any sports. Like I don't follow basketball. Is this basketball? I don't know. Football, I don't follow that either. Yeah, I don't follow any sports at all. Not even kind of. How's everything? I think you mean what's up, man? How's everything? Yeah, I'm doing fucking fantastic. We're about to leave for tour tomorrow. We start in Sanford, Florida, and then we're making our way up to Mississippi, which, by the way, our Mississippi show is looking a little weird or sketchy right now. We're not sure if it's going to happen. One of the bands dropped off, and the promoter's kind of like, hey, yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. And I'm like, that's your job as a promoter, to find out what's going on with that. So you figure that out, my dude. But yeah, we're not too sure. We're going to find out. If not, we have a day off tomorrow. Or the day after tomorrow, I guess. So we're going to find that out. Are you playing Minnesota? No, we're not playing Minnesota. I wish we were, but we're not. I hope it all plays well. Yeah, so that's the only date with any issues, but other than that, we have 10 days straight, so it'll be, we're going everywhere from Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, can never remember the name of that. We're hitting Arkansas, Texas twice, Oklahoma, and then we're going over to like Tennessee and Kentucky, and then Georgia. Make sure you put your chat to all messages instead of two messages. What does that mean? Where in Oklahoma? Tulsa. We're going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah, we'll be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which will be my second time in Oklahoma. First time I was in Oklahoma, I was on tour with a different band. And they were all in the van. I was outside of the van after we were at the Planet Fitness, and I looked into the woods, and I found a sword. And I'll show you that. I'll show you the sword, actually. Give me 2 seconds. I will find the sword. It's literally like my prized possession now, is this sword that I found on tour in Oklahoma one day. Sorry, I don't have enough hands to make this happen. Alright, so, yeah, I was on tour. I cannot remember where in Oklahoma we were, but, sorry, it's in my closet. It's my home defense mechanism now. Alright. Sword. Found this in Oklahoma, literally in the woods in Oklahoma. It's kind of the craziest thing. This is the sword. Yeah, so I like Oklahoma. Great place. Makes you feel like you're like really playing RuneScape in real life or something. It's kind of crazy. So, I've got a sword. Don't fuck around. Yeah, so we're going to Oklahoma again, and my hope is that I find another sword. Like, I think that would be the most exciting thing that can happen, is every time I enter Oklahoma, find a new sword. Was that your cat? Yes. So this is Gideon. He's the most annoying cat that there is. Didn't hear your response, Choco Topher. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so this is Gideon. He's the most annoying cat because when you walk, he literally like walks in front of you all the time. And then this is Bandit. She's cool. She doesn't do anything. She's got like a little bobtail. We thought that, for the longest time, we thought that she got like eaten by an alligator, her tail or some shit, but that didn't happen. That's just actually in her species or breed or whatever. This guy is annoying as hell though. Those are the cats. So, yeah. Oh, I've never shown you guys the workspace. This is the workspace. This is me getting ready for tour. Those will be on tour too. I need to bring those. Some panels, my little window here. This is one of the guitars that I use sometimes. This one actually was on Omen. Yeah, this is where it happens. This is where, like, all of the music is produced. So, what the hell is everyone else doing today? Apparently not working, right? Dying from the heat. Yeah, I don't miss working outside. I used to drive to Port St. Lucie and work out there every day. And I was hanging storm shutters. I hated that. They put you in a lot of scenarios where, like, they're ready to kill you, I'm pretty sure. Any of those types of, like, construction type jobs or whatever. Field work. Do you ever write music outside of... Do you ever write material outside of Phantom Limbs? Yes. So I produce for a lot of bands. I was in a band called Rivers, without the vowels. RVRS. That was me and Mike. We were in that project before. There's a band called Omega that I work with now. And I write a lot of stuff for them. Well, actually, I write all their instrumentals. I've worked with Catcher in the Rye a good bit. There's this acoustic artist named Alex Spencer. He writes his music, but then I kind of like add and embellish them. Kind of make them into something new almost sometimes. Yeah. I write a lot of music outside of Phantom Limbs. And sciatic nerve pain down my leg. That sounds awful. What band, Cutting It Close, is pretty good that you mentioned? Yeah. So I don't write anything for them. I just record them and mix their stuff. But they're really sick. They're a really cool band. And they're super nice dudes. I met them last year when I was on tour with a band called Lydia Can't Breathe, which I'm touring again with in July. But yeah, I was on tour with that band. Met Cutting It Close down there in somewhere in South Florida. And they were super cool. So we've been in contact ever since. And then I just started working with them a couple months ago. And right after I get back from tour, we're working together again. I'm gonna definitely talk to those dudes and try and get us a show in Port St. Lucie. So my YouTube right now, these are the things that it's recommending I watch. This is my guitar videos. I like to watch this dude. That's first musician I ever watched live was that guy. If you know the band Silosis. He also joined Architects for a little bit. This is one of them, like, gotta watch this soon. Jordan Peterson. This was a really weird... this is actually a breakdown of a debate that he was in. I just watch a bunch of like marketing videos all the time, so this kind of stuff pops up. Diary of a CEO is one of the best, most educational podcasts like the world has. Literally one of the best things I've watched is like this weekly. However often they put out something. This one was Scooter Braun, who's a big, he worked with like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. You probably heard his name because of the Taylor Swift issues that they had, where she Uh, he was her manager, or part of her management team or whatever. And then, yeah, that whole big debacle that happened with Taylor Swift. Basically, he then quit management. But yeah, I don't watch anything political. That's just there in the breaking news section. Alex Ramosi is the biggest genius that the world has to offer as far as business goes. And yeah, that's what my YouTube homepage consists of. Is a bunch of like crazy educational shit all the time. So what's going on, Casual? You not coming to Sanford tomorrow? Tomorrow? Eric, what's going on, dude? We're just bullshitting and chatting right now. Kind of as I eat breakfast / lunch, and then get ready for tour later. I'm gonna do the things that I shouldn't do as a producer, but I'm working with this band who we're actually playing with them in Arkansas when we get there. But Burn Absolute's guitarist and drummer are in this band, and I am producing a new song for them. Not going to show you anything further than that because it's not my music to show off. Too far away. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, you're like, that's right. You're probably 40-ish minutes south from where I'm at. So that's probably almost 2-hour drive to Sanford. What software are you using? I use Cubase. Honestly, I think every DAW is kind of just as good as the other. It just depends on which one you've seen first and decide that's the one for me. There's always that big debate like, oh, Cubase is better than Pro Tools. Pro Tools is better than Logic, whatever. I just use Cubase because that was the first one I seen someone use. And then I got good at it. Sounds pretty rad for sure. Yeah, they're a sick band. They're really cool. Their guitarist is insane. He's super good. He's also the guitarist of Burn Absolute, so that's the band we're going on tour with. Closer to an hour south, yeah. I did a lot of storm shutters on houses in Vero. Out in like the, I don't know what the fuck section that is called, but like all the streets were like numbers. It was like 104th Street and shit like that. Yeah, Eric, when you get a band going, fucking let me know. That'd be super sick. Are you working on making a band now or joining a band? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, honestly, like I've seen people that are just like Logic's the best, and like I think Logic is good. I just my eye and my ear just agrees with Cubase because I've seen it so much more, Popped into lurk. LOL, I'm trying to find a ride tomorrow because the truck DI. Amanda. You talking about the show? The show tomorrow? Amanda? Who are you? Where do I know you from? Who knows you? Where do we know you from? Unless you're going somewhere else tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Who in our band knows you? I don't know any Amandas, I don't think. Oh, Amanda. I do know Amandas. That's crazy. Yeah. Honestly, Yeah, just think of you as like Chris's girlfriend. So that's probably what it was. That's crazy. Yeah. Why? What happened to your truck? What happened to the truck? Also, quit lurking. Just chat and hang out. Most of Vero is number streets. I'm right off US 1. Oh, I didn't know. I thought I just like worked in the community that was all the numbered roads. I was like, why the fuck's everything got a number here? Yeah, I thought I didn't know any Amandas. Guess I do. Transmission took a crap. Also, I'm at work. What do you do for work? Would be really convenient if you worked at like an auto shop or something. They could fix your transmission. Hold up. You're telling me that the chat is on top message? How do I fix that? As far as I've known, I've been looking at every message that there is. Now I'm confused. Oh, okay. Found it. All messages. Good eye, casual. I had no fucking clue that was even a thing. How long have I been filtering out messages? Surprise, and I manage a smoke shop. Okay. Smoke shop. How do you like managing the smoke shop? Do you oversee the people of the smoke shop and tell them to smoke less? I noticed you were reading. Oh. Yeah. I had no idea that there was even a filter for that. That's fucking crazy. Oh, so every live it does that? That's crazy. Funniest thing. So I work on computers, as in, this is my job, working with computers. But I don't know anything about computers. I suck at technology. I just had to replace my SSD the other day. That took me like 3 hours. I was on TikTok trying to figure out where the hell you plug that thing in, what the hell things even meant. It's pretty boring, but when it's dead, it gives me time to do vocal practices and game. Alright, so we're just singing in the smoke shop, playing games, and obviously watching Phantom Limbs live streams all day. If I accidentally swipe to a different live, then back, I have to fix it. I know PC hardware, not software. Yeah, I am even worse with the hardware side than the software side. And I'm not that good at the software side. The only reason I know Cubase is because I've just put hours and hours and hours into figuring this out. But allegedly, I don't remember where I heard this, but DAWs, digital audio workstations, they call them DAWs, are apparently one of the hardest things to learn on computers because there's so much you can do with them. So I guess I know more than I think I know. I know PC hardware now. Oh, Sam, I'm better with hardware than software. For the top comment, all comments thing, if I swipe to another live and then back, I have to correct it every time. Yeah, I guess platforms are weird like that. Not sure why they do that kind of shit. I tried learning Pro Tools, the Freedom one. It was super overwhelming. Yeah. Honestly, even me as like someone who works on Cubase for a living, if I move to another DAW, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. It looks like a whole new language. Like we record our drums on Logic because that's what Justin uses, and he has a laptop, so it's easier to bring around. But whenever I'm like trying to help him record the drums and stuff, I'm like over there like a chimpanzee, not knowing what I'm looking at. Every time I go to copy and paste something, I'm like, it's Command Z, right? Which is not that. Sitting in the work truck trying to cool down. Dude, I remember like during the summer times and stuff, working outside, I'd like always be in the truck just like taking breaks. I'm like, it's fucking hot out here. It's crazy. Yeah, I used to hang storm shutters down in like Port St. Lucie, Vero, Titusville even sometimes and shit like that. And it was just like you'd end up at these new construction houses. The ground was super uneven and not finished up kind of thing. It was just dirt. You'd have to set up a ladder on like some crooked ass dirt, but then you'd have to get over an overhang on the roof to get to the window. It was hell. They were trying to kill me, I'm confident. Weather app says it's 91, feels like 100. And it's like 60% humidity. Dude, Florida's humidity is crazy. I thought that being in Texas would be like easier because it's like dry, but that didn't help either. So, Florida and Texas both suck. I did tile installation for 10 years in View. That's crazy. Dude, tile installation seems like hard as hell because, I don't know. I feel like my knees would be hurting. What got you into surveying? I'll take that over the heat anytime. Yeah. Well, when I was doing new construction, it was always those were the tile guys I was always seeing. They were in the hot ass like houses that had no lighting and no AC, no electric. That shit was crazy. And then the tile guys hated when I showed up because they knew that I was just about to block in all their windows. Because I would have to, Port St. Lucie, you have to leave storm shutters up for 24 hours to get inspected. So I would go up there, close up all the windows, and just leave, and the tile guys fucking hated me. Father-in-law is a vice president of a surveying company. Okay. I've gotten mad at a few shutter guys, yeah. I was probably one of them. I always told them I'd go up to the house and I'd start boarding up the windows or whatever. They'd come out and be like, dude, you can't do that right now. I'm like, listen, I have to put them up for my job. I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to leave. Whatever happens after that has nothing to do with me. Do whatever you got to do. I don't give a shit. I used to do a whole lot of really high-end tile and stuff in Johns Island. That's crazy. I imagine working in those like high-end houses is pretty nerve-wracking at times. You don't want to fuck that up. When I was doing storm shutters, towards the end of me working there, I was like done with that place. That place was just not it. Towards the end of me working there, I got this. So usually I could do like 6 or 8 houses in a day, and that was a lot, but I could do that many. That was kind of like on average, like the average size houses kind of thing. And one day they gave me like the biggest house I'd ever seen. It was like crazy huge. So usually like a house, they numbered it A through Z kind of thing for the windows. if a normal house, like a pretty decent sized house would get to like K, like that's a decent sized house. Um, but this one went all the way down to Z, and then they made a Z2 column, a two column. So it was like A2, and it went to like halfway down that as well. It was like 3 times bigger than any house I've ever seen. The driveway was fucking massive. I had to walk like a half a mile because I wasn't allowed to park on the driveway. So every time I had to go get shutters, I'd have to walk back down the driveway and grab the shutters and bring them back up the house. So it was like a 10-minute walk each time. But when they gave me that job, they gave me that and 8 other houses. And I told them in the morning, I'm like, I might be able to get this one done today, but none of the other ones are happening. And they were like, no, you can get them all done. You do 8 a day usually. I'm like, this one is massive. And so when I got to that job and realized how, like, I didn't even know the driveway was that long until I got there. I'm like, there's no way it's happening. Like, it took me the entire day to get that done. And then I called them and told them, yeah, I just finished this house. Funny enough, it was called Loch Ness, the street name. It was in Rockledge or something. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I just got this one done, so I'm done for the day. I got the other 7 for tomorrow or whatever. And they're like, why didn't you get them done? I'm like, dude, the driveway took me like 10 minutes to walk up and down. Like, you know how many times I had to do that? I had to walk up and down the driveway at least, I don't know, 50 times? Maybe more. I've been there before. What did you do, Peter? I did a $40,000 backsplash in an $8 million home, new construction. Holy shit. At least it was new construction. You didn't have like the homeowner like hawking you or something. That was always annoying. Anytime I'd have like homeowner houses, they'd just be like following you around the whole time. So, let's look at these. That's not what I wanted. I had a homeowner literally stand 18 inches behind me one time. Dude, that's so uncomfortable. Like, you're gonna do worse work because of that, right? Couple cool things. We hit 2 million views on YouTube, which is fucking wild. Almost 7,000 subscribers, which is sweet. 500, almost 600,000 views in the last 30 days. Pretty cool. What we're working on right now is getting the watch hours up, because our watch hours are low because most of our views come from short form, so they're pretty low considering all the traction on here. So we have almost 3,000, and when we get to 3,000, we'll be able to do some cool like perk stuff or whatever. Not sure exactly what we're gonna do, but we get cooler like membership services and stuff we could do with y'all, if that's something y'all would want. But yeah, we have to get another 87 watch hours. Our goal was to get that done before tour, but that likely won't be the case, but we're trying, which is why we're over here hanging out and chatting all the time. Not the only reason. It's a good time, so, but it helps. I'll share some photos on the Discord later. Yeah, definitely do that. Did I need to throw Phantom Limbs YouTube on in the background instead of Spotify? You could. It would help. That'd be sweet. We were thinking about making like a, what do you call it? a playlist, like a spam playlist on YouTube. I mean, we have all our live streams that are up on our channel too, and those are hours and hours long. So you can watch those for hours and hours, and that'll help us for sure. My guys left me over there, so I had to find my way back. Dude, what? We'll make a song playlist and then we'll make a live playlist, like for our live streams. We could do that. When is the next place you guys will be playing? I mean, where? Tomorrow we're playing in Sanford, Florida, and then that's the start of our tour. So we're going from there. Hello from Netherlands. What's going on, dude? Appreciate you. I'm a really big fan. You guys made it from the bottom to where you are now, and I really feel honestly, one of my biggest things is I feel like art has to be shared. I feel like it's like a moral obligation for artists to share their art. And I feel like a lot of artists, most artists, they hold that art in and they don't share it. Whether that's for fear of sharing their actual creation or if it's just fear of, having to work a 9 to 5 or whatever, like things like that. Artists, like they just don't put out their art. And so my point is that I feel like one of my biggest things is inspiring artists to create, and that's as a producer and as a musician, not just music art, but art in general. I think art is the thing that drives culture and like moves people's opinions and kind of it's been like the undercurrent of culture ever since like the dawn of time. Whether it's writing, music, painting, all of that. Like I feel like art is the undercurrent for our culture, and it's the thing that really moves people to like the next space in life. So I feel like it is a moral obligation to keep kind of sharing that idea, and to be engaged and active as a creator, to kind of show people and prove to people that this is something that like can be done and should be done. I've seen a lot of friends get like they were super good musicians or guitarists or great bands or whatever, and then they break up or they quit music or whatever because they have to keep food on the table or whatever, or they feel like there's like this pressure to get a real job or whatever. And for me, it's just like it couldn't be that. I went to school. I was going to college for psychology, and then one day it hit me. I'm like, okay, I know as much about getting into the field of psychology as I know about getting into the field of music. So I might as well put the effort towards something that I care about. That's the day I bought this whole setup here and started like recording my own music and stuff. And then the reason that I started producing and was able to find a band and make a band and all that shit was because of that. Because it just clicked with me one day that I was spending all of my free time on things that I didn't care to be doing. And I saw a lot of other people do that as well. So it's like, I had a buddy at the warehouse I used to work at, and he's just like super great guy, but he's like, you could see it in him. He hates the job. And he talks about it all the time. He hates his life because of the job. He hates the job, and he has no desire to get out. Not no desire, because he definitely wants out, but he has no like. He feels like there's no option and no way to get out of that kind of thing. And so my point here is like with Fenelon's, one of the biggest things I do want to combat almost in the world is the idea that like you're stuck doing whatever it is that you're doing, and that stuckness that people feel working a 9 to 5 and having to live like a normal life or whatever it might be. I lived in before we moved into this place, which we just moved in here 3 months ago. Before we lived here, we were living out in Cocoa, Florida, which is not the nicest part of town. right past like the crack corner. That was where we were. And I did that so that I could quit music. I was living as cheap as possible. So that way I quit music. I said quit music. That's not what I meant. I lived there as cheap as I could so that I could quit my 9 to 5. And once that was done, like I paid off my car. And once that was done, like, you know, we could start to like move into a new place and that kind of thing. So I think it's just about finding ways that you can grow, even if it's like you eat shit for fucking 7 years or some shit. Find it. Find a way. Give you 8 hours a day. Heck yeah, man. I was in a band called Unmerciful Rain. I used to go to practice every day and come out of work early. Just walk in, play drums. We made it far. The last place we played was Webster Hall. Dude, that's crazy. I've heard about Webster Hall. That's wild. Unmerciful Rain. Did you have music out? Because I'm about to look it up. Unmerciful Rain band. I know what you mean. If you get that playlist up, I'll have it playing today. If not, definitely tomorrow. Yeah, we'll definitely get that together by tomorrow. If not, later today. That's fucking this fucking band fucking rocks. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you. I can't wait to quit my day job. Eric, what do you do for a day job? And what is your goal outside of a day job? Bark, 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 bark. Have you ever played Brass Mug? Yeah, we've definitely played. Phantom Limbs has not played Brass Mug, I don't think. But I have played there a couple times. I was stuck in the tile business till I hurt my back. And then, like, what, you couldn't do the tile thing anymore with a hurt back, I'm sure, right? Unmerciful Rain. The Illusionist? Is that oh, that looks like it. Let's see.
Janet, when's the last time you had a vegetable?
Yesterday, Tuesday, month.
Damn it, Janet!
I think this. This must be our man right here. Damn. $13 years ago. Okay. Yeah, you can ask me anything. Whatever you want to ask. What's going on, Black Mirror? That's crazy. Are there any other videos? That was a little hard to hear, that one. This is brutal. That V is really cool. Oh shit. Those vocals are crazy for 13 years ago. All right. That's sick. That's cool. I'm a kitchen lead, and it's not bad. I'm passionate about it. But the business itself, the establishment, is a joke. A lot of lazy people work there. I would love to pursue music full time. Haven't been in a band since the peak of COVID. Those are the days. Yeah, so I'm sure you're well aware of this, but I think the reason that the restaurant industry and businesses suck is because they're just not willing to pay, like everywhere, they're just not willing to pay people enough. So where you have someone like yourself who's like passionate and cares, you're surrounded by people who suck and don't want to do the job and are just there to collect a paycheck. So it hurts like the employee morale and therefore just wrecks the business from the inside. But it all stems from the fact that they're just hiring people who don't care. And they're just hiring people who just like have hands. And I think this is like a major problem in our economy, if you will, is just like the willingness to hire anyone who just has hands in at the lowest bottom dollar versus hiring someone who's actually qualified and capable of doing the job to a high level or even a moderate level. And that was a job that I mean, the problems that I had at like the warehouse and things like that, I never wanted to stay there. But the people that were working there were there for like 11, 15 years. And like nobody cared. Like it was just such a negative environment. There were people working there that would literally just walk away if they saw a customer walk up and just like disappear until the customer was gone so that someone else had to deal with it. And it's like then all of the weight of performing and making it get it done, getting anything done right comes down to the one guy who does care, like yourself, you know? It's crazy. The problem is society has trained people to be consumers rather than entrepreneurs. I absolutely agree with that too. Entrepreneurialness, whatever the fuck you call that, like, I don't know. Like, I think about like old days where it was like trade, you know, instead of money and currency being exchanged, it was like, hey, service for service kind of thing. And like, I feel like there's the potential for society to kind of flip and go back to that in some sense. Kalos, hello, how's it going? I feel like there's a potential for it to flip and go back to that eventually, because of the connection that the internet has created, and the way that the internet has like created this. So at some point, there was. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. There was less. When there wasn't as many businesses and stuff, and it was just people to people, like, you know, trade kind of thing, then it became businesses, and like business was the place where the trade happened. So the trade had to become currency, and the currency like thing, it almost seems dead, knowing now that we are all connected through the internet the way that we are, is my point. So the fact that like we're all connected and I can literally just like hop on Facebook or whatever and be like, yo, I need someone to do lawn care. I do audio recording. Can I trade a month of lawn care for a song or something like that? Like that, I feel like there's the potential for trade to start to take over again. I don't know that it is going to happen at any point, and I don't know that it's something that people are like thinking about actively, but I think it has potential to come back. I actually get overpaid for what I do, but the owner uses that as a reason to not be frustrated. For you to not be frustrated, kind of thing. Like, oh, I pay you this much, stop complaining. Yeah, so I think the pay scales are crazy. I don't know how much you make, but So for Florida, it seems like we've got it capped out. Everyone makes about $15 doing anything. What you know? So when I was working at the warehouse, I was making that when I quit, I was making like $17, and this was a couple years ago. So I was making like $17, which was just like a penny or two, basically more than like the average person who would start a job, which was like about $15 or so. A job like that, like the warehouse. So when I was making like I got a dollar and 20 some cent raise that day, one day, and went into the office and the manager, she goes, "Hey, are you happy with your raise?" And I'm like, "No," and she's like, "Why?" And and mind you, I'm like the most agreeable, kind person, so like they never had an issue with me at all. I always did work, didn't matter. So when she heard no, I was not happy with the dollar 20 something cent raise, she was shocked. Um, and I was like, she goes, why? And I'm like, because I live, 40 minutes away, so I'm spending $60 in gas a week to get $40 now of a raise, like and this was a cost of living raise. So the extra money that, since gas went up and all that shit, the extra money I was spending in gas was just the cost of living wasn't keeping up with that as far as like they were offering. So I told her that, and she goes, "Oh, well, you could just move closer." And I'm like, "I'm living in the cheapest fucking apartment I can find right now. I'm gonna triple my rent to move back here. There's no way it's happening." But yeah, they're just very like they don't really see that the problem is the pay scales. So yeah, even if you are being paid a lot, it's almost like this weird safety zone in the middle. Kind of reminds me of the story of Icarus. So it was like the story was the kid with the wax wings, and his father told him like, "Don't fly too high because your wings will melt because of the sun." But the part of the story that was removed was also don't fly too low because like the salt in the seas will like also destroy your wings or deteriorate them, kind of thing. But that wasn't something that gets told. But the point is that staying in the middle is almost like the safe zone. So you being, overpaid and at the top kind of thing, it's almost like you got a target on your back that way. It seems, not to like be discouraging in any way, but it's just like this weird way of how things work. It's like now you have to work like 6 times harder to compensate for the fact that they're paying you more than most people. Welcome back. Yeah, I had to spend, I don't know, probably like the better part of 6 years. One, learning social skills, which was part of the entrepreneurial journey, if you will. And then also learning all of the business skills and actually learning the technical side of doing the work. But to be honest, like I started making money with music and producing bands before I was any good at producing bands. If you want to listen to the first record I ever put out, actually, you know what? We're gonna do that right now. So this is the first song, and yes, it's gonna be very reminiscent of another band. But this is the first song that I ever released. This was I mixed it, I guess you could say that, but I didn't know how to master. I didn't even know mastering was a thing. So this was the first record I put out. It's so dark. Like it's not like a punchy in your face sound. Forgot these lyrics were kind of cool. That was my first record that I ever put out was that song. Yep, the closers don't clean anything, and place is always filthy when I open the following day. Crew members do drugs in the restroom during the rush times, and I'm expected to pick up their slack. That's fucking crazy. I just need to accept it. Oh, because I'm overpaid, I just need to accept it. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Like, um, cause so the business owner, right? Your restaurant dude, like the owner of that business is only like the business is only going to be as strong as their lowest like anchor is pulling them down towards, you know. So if you have people in your fucking restroom that are not doing work during busy times and doing drugs, that's as strong as your business is, and that's fucking crazy to me that someone like wants that to be the case, especially like if you quit, you know, not to be like, oh, you're it's all hinging on you or whatever, but like if you quit, like those people are gonna leave too because like they need your shoulders, you know what I mean? Like all of those extra employees that won't clean and leave the place dirty and do drugs in the bathroom, they need your shoulders to keep them afloat, you know. And that's when I quit the warehouse, like a few people that had been working there for like 5 years and some, they also quit. And I'm not saying that I was like the linchpin there, or the piece that you know held it all together in any sense, but like there was almost this because everyone was miserable except for me. I was never like miserable there. I didn't like working there, and it was not. It was a miserable time working there, but I was never in dismay, if you will. I was never like distraught over having to do work, because I knew that I had a goal, and my goal was to get out of there. Um, and I knew that I was working towards it and getting there. So it was never um, hard on me, where everyone else had shit days every day. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, when I left there, a lot of other people left there. I think there were like 3 or 4 other employees that left. One of them had been there for 11 years, and he was actually the manager of the warehouse. And then he left there, and now he does sales somewhere else. So he completely shifted jobs and everything. So pretty crazy. Um, but yeah, the fact that you just need to accept it because you're paid well is crazy. Like that's like you're just paying one person well so you can hold your business over their head is just insane. Have you ever heard of the instrumental band Pomegranate Tiger? Yeah, it's been a long time since I've listened to them, but I used to jam them back in the day. That's crazy. Reminded me a little bit of them. Love the song Stomp the Haunted Crown. Let's look it up. Pomegranate. I always thought that name was so crazy. Yeah, it's cool. Their guitar tone is sick. Yeah, I miss listening to instrumental bands all the time. I used to listen to like Pliny and Modern Day Babylon was one of the bands. A lot of Animals as Leaders and shit like that. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's super sick. The cool thing with like instrumental bands like this is like they kind of had free reign of like making riffs, whereas like a band like us, we kind of have to cater to the vocals to some extent, you know. So I definitely miss listening to bands that had like a little bit of free reign instrumentally like that. That's crazy. When I was studying for my AutoCAD certification, I needed instrumental music. Ah, yeah. Honestly, like that's probably like the time in my life it was too. When I was like in school, I was just like I would always put on Pliny or Animals Leaders or some instrumental band, and I found more and more because of that. It was just like having to study. It's like the listening to the vocals kind of like gets in the way a little bit. So I feel that for sure. Yeah, they're sick though. Pomegranate Tiger. Is that new? No, that was 9 years ago. What have they been up to? Ah, yeah, they're still shredding. That was a year ago. That's crazy. Damn, they're really active. Didn't know that. Uh-oh. I haven't even listened to that first song that dude did, but that Oliver Anthony guy is like blowing up again. That's crazy. Found an instrumental playlist on Spotify called Instrumental Madness. It was great. Yeah. There was this band called Strawberry Girls. I remember finding them too. And then I saw them live on accident. That was cool as fuck. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool instrumental bands. What's good, What's up, Tony? How's it going? We're just kind of bullshitting today. We're just hanging out, chatting, seeing what's going on in different bands or different whatever the fuck. Hanging out for a little bit. I need to pack for tour. I still have not done that, but I will. But yeah, tour starts tomorrow, which is crazy. As I said, the most annoying cat in the world. So he's also annoying because he throws up every time he eats, especially if it's in the morning. Because I think he just rushes eating because he gets so excited that there's finally food after I slept the overnight. So if I feed him, I have to feed him like the smallest amount, and that's why I feed him on a paper plate on the floor, versus the other cat gets this premium plate up here. uh, Go back. I do. When will you be back in Florida so I can get my shit? So, we are gonna be back on like the 22nd or 23rd. But yeah, we'll make sure to get them to you after we get back. But I think we've put them aside for you already. I'm pretty sure. Is GF sad you're leaving for tour in a few weeks? For a few weeks. So yes, but she also enjoys having some like time. So she'll have some time to kind of do whatever she does here, clean up a little bit and all that. This cat's got this pouch here for no reason. I don't know why he's got this pouch. Probably because he was fat. He still is. You need to get one of those bowls that make it so that they can't eat fast. Dude, I was thinking about that. I thought that they had those, and but yeah, he definitely needs something like that because he's fucking. He literally like eats and throws up. He's like the Prometheus of cats. Now he's thirsty. Yeah, he's like the Prometheus of cats, like where Prometheus would live his whole day, and then he would be picked apart by the birds or whatever. Um, this guy just like, but it would like the next day he would be regenerated. Same with this guy. He just like gets picked apart by throwing up, and he regenerates and does it again the next minute. You know. Check the dog section. Will do. I will have to check for that. My cat, Dawson. Dawson's a funny name for a cat. Has a pouch. He's a big boy. Yeah. So this is Gideon. Gideon's pouch cat. But he doesn't leave you alone. Formerly dog and cat nutrition expert, as well as reptile specialist, aquatic specialist at pet store. That's crazy. So you've done a lot of stuff, huh? This man's lived multiple lives, many multiple lives. Yeah, so as far as like touring, I'm definitely gonna have a good time. I've done multiple tours. Mike has done a few tours. Justin has gone on tour. Tico has not though, so Tico's gonna be the fresh meat, if you will, for this tour. Hello, what are you doing? What's going on? I am literally just bullshitting with you guys for a little while, before I start packing for tour. Where's everyone? They're working. I'm just here at my house alone, just chatting with y'all. He he loves you. Yeah, he knows you feed him. Yeah, he's fucking annoying. Like he'll run in front of you the whole time, like, and you'll kick him like 80 times a day. Anytime I walk out of this room, he just runs like in front of me. It's insane. Jack of few trades. I really want to build a bioactive palindrome to grow tree frogs from tadpoles for / with my son. That sounds insane. Maybe it's just the damn bioactive palindrome. Paludarium? The bioactive paludarium. That sounds very insane. But yeah, if you do that, that's crazy as hell. That you should definitely work on it. I mean, that'd be sweet. Definitely a cool project. And I'm interested in knowing what the hell that's even about. What's going on, Snot? Bioactive paludarium. Is that just like a place to grow frogs, or is that's more of like a something else? Terrarium equals land, aquarium equals water, paludarium equals land and water. Oh, I see it. Okay. That makes sense. There's some flags there, but I can't tell what flags those are. Honestly, I'm terrible with flags. If it's not like the United States or Canada, I have no idea what any of the other flags are. And that is straight ignorance on my part. Brazil? Brazil? Gonna make a full living jungle. Dude, that would be crazy. Just don't let any like big cats in there. That sounds insane. So when I was working on my social skills when I started recording, I found this channel called Charisma on Command. So we're about to watch one of those videos in a minute. But the reason I started working on social skills was actually because of Mike, my bass player, now. But at the time, he was in a band called Catcher in the Rye. And they were the first band that was complete strangers to me that paid me to work on their music. So they came over, they were recording, and everyone else left, and it was just me and Mike. And Mike and I get along really fucking well. We immediately did. But I was so socially, like, not there, like, not a good social creature at the time. So much so that, like, Mike behind me while I'm, like, clicking buttons and I needed him to re-record a part, I was, like, just fucking nervous breakdown, sweating, like, talking to him. So, like, it was that day that I, like, you know, had that, and we had good conversation and all that shit, but, like, it was that day that, like, I'm like, I cannot do music and record bands the way that I want to without social skills. So I started working on social skills and made that a goal for, like, a few years. Money is the main thing holding me back from doing it. Dude, I feel that. I could imagine growing tree frogs in a bioactive paludarium. Sounds expensive. Gotta get back to work. But my wife and I will definitely be there tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, Tony. Heck yeah, I'm stoked. But yeah, that was when I started working on social skills, was because I just could not. I felt like I was not an entertaining creature, not holding people's like attention while like I had to work on things with them and for them and kind of thing. And it was like that was the moment where it was like, okay, well, it's not even just like I'm just uncomfortable in certain environments like school or whatever. It was like, no, I'm just like I'm in my own home working on something that someone paid me to do. And I can't feel socially comfortable to you know, hey, retract that, you know, do that again or whatever. So there was that point that I started working on social skills. All right, I'm gonna watch this video. We're gonna just like see if it's exciting. I actually like this dude. So I do listen to a lot of Jordan Peterson. Well, your social skills are primo now. Dude, honestly, I put in a lot of work to do that, so I appreciate that for sure. Yeah, social skills and just like all sorts of other stuff. I went through a few years, and this was outside of college, where I was just like, no, I think I know what I need to work on, you know what I mean? And especially to make this kind of like whole music and recording and outside of recording, just like the band kind of thing, to make that really work and that dynamic. It was just really having to hone in on like social skills and like being a conversationalist and being an entertaining creature. So yeah, I appreciate that a lot. So I do listen to a lot of Jordan Peterson, the guy we're about to like not listen to him, but the channel here is called Charisma on Command. It's this dude named Charlie, and he breaks down social engagements, and that might be literally in movies or it might be in like shows, but it also might be like real like debates, or it could be presidents talking in speech. But he breaks down like body language, and he breaks down like social cues and skills and things like that. So he's definitely one of my favorite YouTubers, even to this day. And I do watch a lot of his stuff. But he did this breakdown of Jordan Peterson. So Jordan Peterson, if you didn't see, he did a debate recently, and it's gotten a lot, and he's usually pretty good at explaining himself and his points and stuff, but everyone felt like he was really out of his character and out of element in this debate, and it flopped like hard on him, I guess. So this is the Charisma on Command channel breaking down what went wrong with Jordan Peterson's debate. So I'm going to check that out, and I'll stop it and pause it if I have any thoughts.
And has some of the best debate moments on the internet.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
But his surrounded video is not at that level. And I know plenty of people are going to discuss the content of what he debated, the semantic fog.
I just feel like you kind of retreat into this semantic fog.
I'm not retreating at all. I'm advancing, sir. You are retreating.
And how do you define that filled the conversation?
How do you define the God that you're rejecting?
How do you define worship?
You define God.
Define God.
Define it.
Define it.
We define
Define
we define something. We define worship.
What I want to focus on is the most important part of a debate if you care about changing the mind of the person across from you. Not semantics or gotchas,
Gotcha.
or even sound logic, but the
So, Jordan Peterson, he's a character, if you will. He's, all right, I gotta get back to work. All right, be safe. See you soon. Yeah, if you don't know Jordan Peterson, he's quite a character, if you will. He definitely has some hot topics, if you will. And he's very, he touches a lot of political spaces sometimes, and that's not like my area, definitely. But his recent book, We Who Wrestle with God, was kind of cool, but like it was super washy. So I didn't even get through a lot of it, but I do like the concept of what he was going for. And I'm not a religious person at all, but he was like very washy and wordy about it, and like it almost seemed like he was still looking for what he was talking about. Sniper X Black Light District, what's going on? How's it going? But yeah, it seemed like he was a little washy about it too, which is why most of his books were like 8 or 16 hours or something like that, the audiobooks, because I don't read actual books. But this one was like 25 hours, which was just exhaustively long, so I didn't even get through it all. But yeah, back to this.
connection that you form through your rapport and charisma. Because even a sound argument will not move people if you get these pieces wrong. So here's the first key point. You want to choose amusement over frustration when someone misrepresents or misunderstands you. To see this in action, let's rewind to Jordan's encounter with Kathy Newman. Notice his reaction to her twisting his words.
So you don't believe in equal pay?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
When she continues doing it, he even goes as far as to comment that he finds it all silly.
It's very important to listen first.
All right, we got an ad.
That's
We got an ad.
for most people.
Oh, but so that's interesting because like already this guy's pointing out that Jordan Peterson, like in previous debates, he would laugh when people expressed or twisted their words or tried to like make a different point or whatever. He would laugh a little bit, or he would like kind of shrug it off a little bit. It seemed like he was a little more detached from his point. But now it seems like he's got like some superiority, it seems, in what he's saying more recently.
It's just
That's
fine.
silly. I do. I think that's silly.
He finds it funny when she can't represent him accurately. And this allows him to stay calm and centered enough to effectively point out her inconsistencies later on. But in the
Sorry, I was tired of flipping the camera back and forth, so you're just gonna watch me watch this.
surrounded video, Jordan did not find misunderstandings amusing. Within just 5 minutes of starting, one person said the instead of and Jordan replied like this.
God rewards Moses with a glimpse of the divine. So this is a definition of the God that atheists are hypothetically rejecting.
A possible
Okay.
one.
I said
Yeah.
I didn't say the.
That frustration was also present in other conversations when he felt he wasn't accurately represented.
It's an absurdity to say that the Christian God doesn't fit within Christian ethics, that like the Christian
I
God
didn't
isn't
say
like
that.
Christian
I said
ethical.
that the specific statements that you made don't take the context of the stories into account, and so that your analytical approach is faulty.
Sure.
Don't put words in my
Okay,
mouth.
Sure, then let's go through
Thank
the
you.
example.
So ask yourself, whose perspective are you more likely to open up to? The one who laughs and finds you amusing, or the one who scolds you? So instead of a
Interesting, because like even in Peterson's body language here, you could let me find that picture again.
ask yourself, whose
You can see just like the difference in how he postures himself. One's like more upright, this one's more forward leaning, which forward leaning comes off as aggressive, and more upright just comes off as a little more like casual, if you will. And obviously the smile versus the like grimace almost there is definitely a different sight. But the the point is like he's definitely like hardened as a creature, it seems.
perspective are you more likely to open up to? The one who laughs and finds you amusing, or the one who scolds you? So instead of allowing yourself to get heated, remind yourself that you can choose amusement. If you drop the quest to be perfectly understood, you can actually play with the misunderstandings, and that will make you more persuasive. Check out how a little joke about a misunderstanding will set the stage for a good faith conversation.
And I would say that we find genocide in Scripture. I would argue, though.
So you agree with my claim?
Yeah, I think it's in Scripture. Yeah, I mean, I think it's in there.
Okay,
right?
well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, good stuff.
And of course, if the misunderstandings happen nonstop, you can draw a boundary. I covered this in the original Peterson video and a bunch of others, but for now, let's hop into the second point, which is that most people respond best to a receptive style of listening rather than an interrogative one. So
Yeah, so I think okay. Sorry. I think we might have the second day of our tour canceled, but whatever, because it was the longest drive, so that'll give us extra drive time to the next location, so whatever. We'll figure that out. Plus, there was the only stop on this tour where we weren't sure how it was going to go because we don't know anyone in Mississippi, but we do know a lot of people in like Texas and Oklahoma and all the other states that we're going to, but we don't know anyone in Mississippi, so we were a little afraid of how that one was going to go. But it looks like that might be canceled. But yeah, we'll find out. So, all right. I'm going to hop off here, go handle some business, and finish watching this video. Yeah, I hope y'all are safe and well. I will see you guys very soon, and we will be on tour. We'll be live streaming. We'll be filming some stuff. We'll have some videos out and all that shit this week. We'll be hopefully dropping a video every day is the goal. So see you guys soon. We're going on tour tomorrow, and we'll chat with you very